Live now.
What up, y'all? We're
What's up, everybody?
live.
Happy Thursday. Hope everyone's hanging in.
What did you do today, Jared?
Today I had a all-day stylized shoot with a bridal boutique. Some friends of ours, Your Dream Bridal, who, really, we shoot their like lookbook every single year on the video side. So that was today. I really like it because it usually allows me to have a little bit of creative freedom to just kind of do whatever I want and do some some experimental kind of stuff and work with a model, which we don't always get to do.
Yeah.
And so
for those that have never worked with a model, I would say it's a pretty cool experience when you're used to working with people who really don't like to be on camera versus someone who's really comfortable on camera.
Yeah, and they expect you to do those things.
Yep, it's pretty cool. I'm gonna let people kind of matriculate in.
Matriculate?
Do you want to are we live? Are we actually live? I'm not seeing anybody.
Yeah, I'm watching us on the internet right now.
On the interwebs?
It is a little bit slow, and it's kind of seems like it's buffering pretty bad and flickering and doing all these bad things, so I'm not sure if we actually are or not.
Let's look at it.
I am looking at it.
Yeah, but I'm going to look for myself.
Flicking on and off, and it's just buffering nonstop.
Here we go. I'm not seeing that. Oh, wait. Oh, I am seeing that. Guys, I'm going to bring down the quality really quick, and we will be right back. Let's see. See how that is. Is that a little better, everybody? All right, we got some viewers in here. So, hey, so here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to do some film critiques tonight. If you haven't watched our show, basically this is called the Wedding Film School Live Show, brought to you by YOLO Live. They make the YOLO box, which I have right here, which is a really cool device. Live streaming, encoding, switching, monitoring, recording, 4G, Wi-Fi. It's got everything, and it's a really cool device. And so we love the YOLO box. If you want to buy one, go ahead and click down below. Help out our friends over there. But that's what tonight's stream is brought to you by. Jared, where are you at tonight?
I'm at my house down in Rhode Island, which is about an hour away from our studio. So this definitely makes things more convenient for me, so I don't have to drive an hour back after we do the stream. It's not always going to be the case, but tonight it certainly is. And sorry for my low quality image here.
Yeah, some videographer you are.
I know.
I was playing with I'm playing with.
It wasn't worth a 2-hour drive up there and back to get a Gorilla Pod. So I could have come up with something creative, but honestly, guys, it wasn't gonna happen tonight. So.
What's up, bro? Hey, so a couple things before we get going. If you want to make sure we get to one of your comments, go ahead and drop a super chat. Any little bit you can give the channel helps. Also want to remind you guys, go ahead and hit that like button right now. It tells YouTube this is good content. We like it, and this will help other people see this stuff. We really believe in film critique here at the channel. We believe that watching films together, talking about films together, it's really what makes us better as filmmakers. We want to help you be better. Not to say that we're the experts, not to say we know everything about wedding filmmaking, but we do our best. We want to be helpful. So hopefully tonight is helpful for you. We're going to be reviewing 4 films tonight from some of our members, as well as just some other people in the community. If you are interested in membership, there's a members link. Jared's going to drop it in the chat. And you can become a member if you want to get access to priority reviews, as well as a couple other perks. We do monthly like Q&As with our members, with a couple people. We'll bring on special guests from time to time, and we'll do all that stuff. So if you want to become a member, go ahead and click that button. It's also just somewhere up on the YouTube area. It says somewhere, become a member, and it just says that somewhere. There it is. There's a join button right up there. Go ahead and hit join if you want to become a member. We got 3 levels of membership. And yeah, other than that, you want to get to some films, Jared?
I do. Okay, good. Everyone's saying it's okay for them. I don't know. For me, I'm having, apparently.
Maybe your internet's the worst internet in the world.
Maybe. But as long as it's going up, then we're good to go.
Sounds good. Love it.
For me.
I have no criticism.
So let's hop into some films. I'm seeing you fine.
Great.
But just on YouTube. But
all right,
do it. If it works for everyone, it works for me.
So our first film tonight is brought to us by Benjamin Kelly, and we're going to drop the link, Benjamin Kelly Productions. So that's over. You can watch. Oh, geez, my linker clicker isn't working. There it is. And this is a film that, let's see. Let's read the things about the film. Where do we got it? Okay, I got to tag along with a couple on their engagement photo shoot in Cleveland. I was super nervous because I wanted this to come out really well. It was the first time I could use the knowledge, skills, and way better gear I've accrued over the last 6 months. I shot on a Canon R6 with monopod, Ronin S stabilized handheld because I thought my gimbal died. Apparently it did not. He just thought it died, Jared. And the Canon EF 24-70 2.8 with a VND filter. And he says free because they gave me 2 wedding referrals. That's the cost. So this, I believe, is an engagement film, Jared, which we don't do a ton of, but I like to watch some of these. So this is a cool thing. And I did like kind of watch it a little bit. So I think you guys are going to like this film, and maybe it'll give you some creative ideas for what you can do with your couples. Different ways you can make money, different ways you can help make their film more unique, better. We've done some of these engagement films over the years, right, Jared?
Yeah, we actually, some of our first films were engagement films. We would do packages with only engagement films. And yeah, I think probably do less nowadays, but I always enjoy it. Again, you get that creative freedom to, have the couple to yourself, essentially like a engagement session for video, which is always fun when a couple commits to you that way. So that's cool.
Yeah. Well, what I think is really cool is it gets you the ability to also get to know them a little better too, which is kind of in our, like for you and I right now is maybe a little tough because we're so busy. And I remember those days, and I would say if you had the ability to do that, you should try that again. So anyway, Benjamin, we're going to watch the film and hopefully you guys love it. And Jared has not seen it at all, but so Jared, here's what we're going to do. We're going to be looking at the cinematography. We're going to be looking at some of the storytelling elements, including audio. We're going to be looking at the editing. And I always for me, one of the things this is one of our official categories, but I'm always looking at what's the vibe? Like, how cool is this film? Is it cool? Is it feel cutting edge? Is it obvious who it's for? So that's kind of how we look at our films if you've never seen one of our live film critiques. Here we go, Jared.
I'm excited. I'm pumped.
Is this the right film? I'm playing the right film.
It seems very engagement-like.
Okay.
So I would think so.
Just let me know, Benjamin, if I'm playing your film properly. If I'm not, this was someone else's film. So, all right, here we go. Sorry about that.
I'm excited. I'm pumped.
What do you think about that nice little sun flare right there?
fall tonight, they fall again.
We met incidentally at school, at college. We were in a physics class together. We started studying together and started realizing that, I don't know, we were pretty into each other. We thought each other were pretty cool.
This is just like fake looking amazing light. It looks so cool.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I think like when you every once in a while you get like a sunset like this. Maybe you get them all the time where you're from, Benjamin, but you get a sunset like this and it's just like pure gold. Love it. So I will just
I mean, I probably wouldn't have done it myself, to be honest, but I shooting right into the sun for an interview is I don't know. I think it can sometimes maybe hose you a little bit, but I mean, I think it works for you, Ben. And if you dug it, then I think it's worth it.
I think I would have done. I mean, I know you wouldn't do this because I know you, but you know I would do it.
Yeah, and I bring it back and be like, but I think just in general, like I like a good flare for my B-roll shots because then it kind of gives me some control. But I don't know. I think this is probably just more personal preference than anything.
Well, I wonder about like when you have a short film like this. I wouldn't do this for a corporate interview or a documentary, but for something like this where you like you don't have a wedding to kind of lift the film. I think making the interview shots more interesting and more cinematic probably helps the film. That's just that's my 2 cents. It's interesting though. 2 different people kind of view it in slightly different ways, and I think that's what's cool about doing this kind of art. So keep moving on.
My favorite thing about Lauren is her goofy personality and that we can be funny around each other and be ourselves.
Is that real or is that in it's post? The little fractal.
What made me want to date Jake was his kindness and thoughtfulness and just genuineness. I'm looking forward to on our wedding day being surrounded by the people who have loved us and supported us throughout our relationship and just giving our vows in front of everyone.
I think that looks so nice. That orange. Pretty. With her hair and whatnot. It is brave though. I am with you, Jared. That's a brave decision to go with that.
Yeah, again, it's just not something I would have done. I think I would have tried to save my pretty shots, with the flare for maybe roll shots.
Oh yeah, no, that's actually a great point, Jared. And I'm glad you brought that up because I wasn't even thinking about that. I wonder if you could have done those interviews sooner and saved this sunset and beauty, and maybe the schedule wouldn't provide for it. But I wonder if you could have gotten more of like the romantic stuff with this light. I definitely agree with you there. That I probably would like to see more of like the really romantic stuff with this light and not the interviews. But if you had to do it, I kind of like it. Yeah. Anyway, that's interesting.
Ben says in the comment, the photographer left 10 minutes before the lighting happened. Was tough to color correct though. And that's what I would say about that. Like you look up in the tree over there, it's like, and maybe that is on YouTube too. It's like pretty.
It's crumbly. It's crumbly.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's even some of why I'm like, I probably would have tried to make my B-roll shots more, as opposed to making it my interview. But I mean, again, personal choice.
Yeah, and timing wise, like I said, like if you could have done the interviews like in more even light, that would have been the best because I feel like them kissing with this light would be better than them talking. But that's right.
I would say compositionally, Ben, you got it right though. I think your composition. I like your lens choice for the interviews too.
Me too.
Like, I like seeing like some. I like that you included hands. I think a lot of times when people think interview, they tend to get the hands out, like especially if you're only doing one camera. Usually you're doing like a little bit tighter of a shot and like a compressed shot. But I like your lens choice there. It looks like a 50 or maybe like a 35, like pretty close.
It's like a 24
And,
to 70, which is just
yeah,
great for
I
that
dig
kind of
it.
session too, because you can do, and honestly, like, I'm pretty into the colors throughout, even though,
Yeah.
even if you don't like, I'm kind of wishing I had that camera. It looks beautiful. So, okay, let's go. This looks more blown out streaming than it does.
Jake, I'm really excited to be your wife and to see what future adventures we will have together.
That's a good edit. A nice little edit point. So this is a little critique I have. It's tough with one of these films because you're dealing with basically nothing real, right, Jared? Oh, that's great composition right there. It looks beautiful.
I think that's great composition. Good lens choice. Yeah.
Even
I
like
love
the light, the horizon.
Yeah, what you chose to do with them. I would have liked to see the interviews probably in this stage of the day because it's just so soft. And then making my beauty. I mean, I would have just flipped it, but that's personal preference.
Well, and maybe the photographer wouldn't let you.
Yeah, it's true.
That's what I'm thinking. Is maybe the
She
photographer
gave you a good shot right there. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, but
So-
they might not want to be like, hey, stop doing this portrait session for 20 minutes and let me do interviews.
Yeah, it's true.
They may be like,
It's true.
but here's what I wanted to point out, Jared. When you have a moment like the next one, Jared, and the people are like clearly not doing anything and it's in slow motion, and I'm just looking at her mouth the whole time and it looks so unnatural. Look. It's like,
Yeah.
I think like having like moments like that when you're doing a session like that is what you're trying to avoid. Like this is posed, but it looks natural. It looks like they're just hanging out in.
Yeah.
It's posed in a good way.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Certainly.
so yeah,
I like it. Those vanilla skies, man. That's such a good lighting scenario.
it's incredible looking. It looks
Yeah.
gorgeous. And the blues are in the. There's like a lilac color that matches her dress.
Yep.
It's
It's perfect.
It's awesome looking.
This is like when people talk about like light and airy, this is the light and airy that I like, where it's like your highlights aren't blown out, but everything is super soft, right? And you have like a good kind of slow grade coming away from your highlights. You know, like it's bright and airy, and you kind of have those nice pastels.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's not blown out. Like I think that's where people start getting into trouble is when it's blown out. Of course,
Well, it doesn't look
this
like.
is awesome light, so it's hard to shoot it bad at this time of day.
Well, I think a lot of people would have crushed this too much with their colors.
agree.
They would have pushed
Yeah, I
that
agree.
saturation and contrast a little too much because that. And I
Yep.
think this looks perfect. The skin tones are incredible. So his gimbal work is nice too.
Yeah, I agree. That is good work.
Okay, so that Jared, to me, this is a good example of you're getting macro, and this feels pretty good to me. Like as opposed to the other shot, like where it looks really fake. This is like silly. However you prompted them, or whoever prompted them, whether you the photographer, did a great job getting them to get connected with one another and actually get lost in the moment.
Yeah.
The audio is distorting a little on the music, so and I don't think that's on our end, but
Okay.
I've noticed that.
Jay, I was gonna ask Ben too if you could leave in the comment section, Ben. Were you directing some of this posing, or was the photographer directing it?
Yeah, that's a great
Love to
great question.
Hear kind of some of your thoughts there.
Yeah. One of the we talk about it a lot. Filmmakers struggle mightily with this. I think we feel really unqualified to, run our prompts and do these things. And when someone does a great job with it, I think it makes especially like an engagement session is all about prompts. It's all about that. If you can't get people to actually like connect, they don't have a wedding day to like fuel their passion.
Yeah.
So you got to do a good job with prompts.
Love that.
I love you, Lauren. I'm so excited to spend the rest of my life with you, and I can't wait for
it's
us
handheld.
to get married in a few short months.
I think I would have liked to see that running sequence not slow-mo. Like, I feel like when that song hit, I would have liked to see some of that, like, a little more speed. But
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Is kind of diversifying and making it a little bit more dynamic, right? Where it's
Yeah.
like this song feels like a slow motion song, but kind of adding a little bit more energy to it, I think would interest the audience, especially at this point.
yeah, when the
In
bass
the video,
drops.
where maybe you want to start adding a little bit more energy to it,
Yep.
injecting it, as you might say.
Yes. And I would have liked to see probably, I'm looking at all this water, rocks, all this, and I'd like to see some maybe macro shots of the beach, like including some of that as like texture on there would be nice too. But anyway.
Yep.
Beautiful shots again.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun.
Oh, that's funny.
That's cool, right? So
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you can answer this, Benjamin, too. The if they were using this to like invite people to their wedding or not. Like, I always think that's interesting to me. What did a couple use it for? I love this film, Jared. Like, what's your thoughts on just the overall shooting and just the camera work?
Yeah, I think Ben's a good shooter. Ben has some good vision, and knows what he wants. I think overall, really good. It sounds like, shooting something like this is going to be really tough when you're working with a photographer, because you want it to be pretty narrative, right? So when you're having to share the dance floor, learning how to tango with a photographer is going to be critical.
Yeah, like
I
shooting
think
an interview
a
with
shoot like
someone
this-
else is tough.
Yeah, like I always get along with like every single photographer out there, but I think a shoot like this might be pretty tough for me if I'm trying to get something, because I feel like I would want to like nail my shots. But it seems like, Ben, you got your shots, and you also, were able to work with the photographer and within your time frame. And the sun was going down. There's a lot of pressure on. I'm actually surprised the photographer didn't want to stay for those end shots when the sun was
Why would a
setting. It's kinda
photographer be
like,
like, I'm not going to stay for the sunset? Like,
she was like, my hour's done, I'm out of here. Like,
what the heck is wrong with people?
I
I mean, it's not the first time I've seen people do that.
yeah. What about you, Jay? What were your general kind of takeaways?
I think, like I said, my only beef with how it was shot was I wanted more textural elements that took me away from just. I felt like I was watching a portrait session, and that was a little. And I like that he had the interview. I think that saved it.
Yeah.
But I think we could, like, when you're doing something where like my content is going to be really restricted, you need to almost inject like your own stuff, B-roll of like, even like literally, we make fun of it all the time, but like literally there's a reason why people shoot trees.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, 'cause
just
they
like
need something.
you need something to break up the monotony of two people standing, just talking.
Yep.
But in terms of like every time, I could barely tell when he was shooting handheld versus gimbal, and I think that says a lot.
Yeah.
I was trying to notice it, and I couldn't really notice it that much. And I think the posing was good overall, except for the little tiny things I had mentioned, and the actual the gimbal work was really, really tasteful, which I also liked a lot. and just do, I mean, overall, like, it's very, very professionally shot, really good. I don't really have any criticism with the cinematography at all. Story wise slash narratively, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I thought it was good. It seems like, you ask the questions. If anything, maybe a critique could be like the storyline maybe is a little generic, but like that's kind of out of your control,
Every wedding is different, Jared. Don't you know
No,
that?
they're not. And sometimes, like, when Jay and I first started like our company, like that was one of the biggest downfalls I thought of like moving into weddings. Is I was like, what happens when you get a couple and there's kind of just generic and boring? They're not like people like that are doing much with their lives. Maybe they're not like cool and artistic. Maybe like they're just like a doctor or something, and it's like they're just like, yeah, we're getting married because seems like it's the next step
Well,
in
we've
our
been living together
relationship.
for
And
8 years, so
we've been living together for 10 years, and it's just like that's not what you want to put into your wedding film. So like I think that this type of film can sometimes be difficult when you don't get people that are super into liking each other. And this couple actually seems like they were really
yeah,
excited
they
and
had good
actually excited to
chemistry.
talk to the camera. Yeah, and you're not always going to have that, which can sometimes be tough for this type of video. But it seems like you got it and nailed it, and they like each other. So and they like to have fun. So I think overall you got a good combination of everything. Like I feel like I know these people
Yeah, I felt
really
like the
well.
interviews were pretty good.
Yeah.
I have no idea if this was a requirement or at anything, but
Yeah.
the only thing I would say is if it's supposed to be inviting people to the wedding just as a product, I would say that wasn't overly clear to me. If this was my wedding invitation, if I was receiving this video, I don't know. Then maybe that's just like not the point at all. Maybe they handled it on their website. I don't really know how you could have done better. I'll tell you that with the story. Like the interviews are good interviews, way better than a lot of people's interviews.
Yeah, I would agree.
And so you did good interviews. I love the story, and it was good. So in terms of like just editing, I think it was really well edited. My only beef that I had was a little less slow-mo from just really when the song, like, I'm not a person that's like, you use slow-mo too much. I don't really care if your whole film is in slow-mo. I just care if like when the edit wants a little more dynamic and a little more like activity and kind of leaning into something. Like, I actually think you could have shot a little more handheld, especially during like running, like when they were kind of getting a little crazy. It would have made the film feel a little more energetic.
Yeah.
And it's a little too long, but maybe that's what they had asked for. I feel like it could have been like maybe 30 seconds shorter.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you, editing wise?
Yeah, editing wise, I think the pacing thing, I felt like it maybe could have picked up a little bit more, but I thought he hit the points and hit the crescendos well. And it was, what I really liked about it is it seemed like there was speaking at the beginning, and then the middle part, there was a lot of shots, right? And it was kind of like showing off the couple, and it wasn't interlaced for the entire video. I kind of like that, where it started a certain way, then it's like letting us watch it for a little bit. You're like going on this journey, and then it kind of comes back, as opposed to just making it seem like it's doing this the entire time. Like you're just interlacing, speaking while you're watching shots, and it's just like super interlaced. It's here, it has a little bit of a dip, and then it comes back.
Yeah, dynamically, I mean, as much as I think it could have required a little, I think it needed a little more
you could have
during.
brought that end up even more.
Yeah. But it could have been way worse. It could have been like actually the most boring thing in the world, and it was not at all. It was. I think it caught my attention, and of course, like, you're a great shooter. I want to see more of your work. I'll tell you that, because keep submitting, because I want to see what you do with.
I think Ben has really good instincts, yeah, it's clear, and just like he gets it. But then, as far as like taking it to that next level, I think just Jay and I talk about it all the time, like trying to create something that's dynamic. that keeps your, audience kind of interested, and kind of gets them feeling a little tingly.
Yeah, it was missing something. It was missing the shot where I
Climax.
was like, "That's sexy. That's a crazy good shot." Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like I was wanting to see something that was like really blew my mind, and you had the time, and that's we're kind of nitpicking right now, but I think in general, since you are good, you should want to be the best, and that's how you can become the best.
Yeah.
Not that I know how to do it. I'm not the best, so.
Yeah.
But anyway, great job, buddy. I'm gonna just tell you guys while we're here about our sponsor, YOLO Live. They make the YOLO box, 2 HDMI inputs, 4G. If you're looking, Jared, we did a lot of streaming over the weekend, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We had 2 streams, one Saturday, one Sunday. You have one coming up this weekend.
Yeah, we're doing a BTS for everybody who's a wedding film school person. We're doing a BTS video of a live stream on an island.
Yep.
So we're going to, we're going to hopefully show you guys how we do that. Have a little bit of fun headed over on the boat. So yeah, we're going to be doing that. We're bringing our YOLO box with us. So we're going to be featuring a couple other cool things. So if you want to know how to do a live stream, we got a BTS coming out. So I got something fun in the mail today, Jared. I want to show you this thing.
Okay. What'd you get?
This
Every day is Christmas at the Stop Go Love office.
Oh yeah, it totally is. So
Yeah.
so this thing right here is the Mars 400S Pro. Here, I'll switch over to this camera. Oh no, this camera. Receiver transmitter combo. You guys want to see what it looks like? I have it set up. This is our live streaming studio.
There you go. I would critique your camera operating abilities. There you go.
Hold on, let me get a really good parallax of this microphone.
There you go. Yeah.
Gotta stand up.
And tell me, so essentially, explain to the kids exactly what the Mars Pro does.
How's that? Is that? Oh, I mean,
Beautiful.
I had no IBIS on, so.
I want one now.
Basically, it's just an HDMI transmitter, and it's awesome, man. It's I think it's like $600 or whatever, $500. I don't even know, but like, this thing is a beast, and it's beefy, and it takes which me and you hate these, but I know most people like these Sony L batteries. So it takes.
Well, if you get the Sony ones,
They're like $1 million each.
Yeah, but if you buy any kind of knockoff brands of them, they will fail you. They will screw you.
Yep. But it's great. So I've been playing with that today, getting set up for the BTS this weekend. So let's watch another film. How do we do that? So why don't you
Let's
read us about who's next, and I'll get it queued up.
Sure. So the next film is from Kwesi Peters.
I always say his name wrong.
Quasi.
Yep.
I might have said his name wrong.
Well, we apologize if we did. Feel free to
Yeah.
yell at us, correct us, insult us in the.
Sunday Born Films. He said it was shot on a 5D Mark IV. We shot on 5D Mark IVs for literally 5 or 6 years, probably.
Oh yeah, so we
since
know.
they first came out. Canon C100, Canon EOS R. The aesthetic of the entire day was amazing, along with both the bride and groom's vows. I really pushed for at least part of the reception to be filmed, just so that I could use some of the formalities in their film, but the bride wouldn't budge. So I thought having the ceremony and portraits would have made it difficult, but it turned out great.
So wait, this bride wouldn't let him shoot the reception?
I really pushed for at least part of the reception to be filmed so that I could just use some of the formalities in the film, but the bride wouldn't budge. So I thought just having the ceremony and portraits would have made it difficult, but I think it turned out great. Yeah, so this is apparently, I haven't seen it. You've seen it.
Kind
right?
of.
Kind of. So
I didn't observe that, but now I'm going to walk. Anyway, I guess we'll see,
the
right?
client purchased a 3 to 4 minute highlight film. That's what it was actually purchased.
Cool.
So
All right,
I'm
guys.
interested too.
So we're gonna
Got
watch
me
this
on the edge of
film.
my seat.
Got us on the edge of the seats. You guys, you ready to watch the film? Let's do it.
Get it.
I'm sure that both of you may agree that there's many pieces of advice out there as people that you know. This can be overwhelming at times.
What did he say? There's many pieces of advice out there as people that you know.
As people may know.
Oh, that doesn't make any sense. I want to hear him say it again.
Huh.
There's many pieces of advice out there as people that you know.
As people
Both
may
of
know.
you may agree that there's many pieces of advice out there as people that you know.
He said that you know. What does
As
that
people
mean?
you know. I don't know. That's
People say stuff sometimes during weddings, and I'm like, I don't think that means what you think it means.
This can be overwhelming at times to figure out how to discover the key to a long and lasting, loving marriage. Well, the truth of the matter is that all of them are wrong, and all of them are right.
What's he wearing?
It looks like he's graduated college, but maybe it's some religion, so I don't want to make fun of your religion. That was fun, though. I want to go back and see the nice little, like, flash, a little production value in here, Jared.
Yep. Yeah. I dig it.
Woo!
Seems like somebody may have watched Bobby's ring
And,
video.
you know, it's nice.
I like that.
Well, we'll do the little, let's listen to the cymbal. The cymbal washes, guys, are one of the best ways that you can create, like, the illusion that you're a good editor or actually be a good editor, which is like a cymbal wash tells you, like, do a fade or some kind of grand gesture. Listen to this cymbal wash, all y'all. And then
We're walking into health class in 10th
I don't really
grade
like that
and
wide
singing
shot.
for the
I know
first time.
I know what it's doing.
I don't like the shot he landed on with the cymbal wash. I like that he did a movement, but I'm not crazy
Yes.
about that.
I agree.
It's a kind
I
of a
agree.
lame
I
shot.
agree.
I was like actually like, oh, this is gonna be sick. Ugh, lame shot. Like groom getting ready stuff. We all agree is kind of the worst stuff you shoot all day.
Yeah.
Like, and the lighting at the beginning was really promising, but I feel like you're gonna start seeing some like really blue, orange, like a lot of combination white balances, and I feel like maybe being a little more assertive with them or just nailing their skin tone, because I don't think in the back it would have looked too bad if it was kind of orangey, right, Jared?
Yeah.
If their skin tone was
you know,
nice.
I talked a little bit about a probably very similar lighting situation on the recent BTS that we did, where I really hate mixed lighting situations.
Yeah, they're tough.
And not just necessarily the lighting situations, but having mixed light, because oftentimes there's so much that you can do about it, whether it's, you know, in a shot like this with her, like that light looks really blue because you're trying not to make the logs in the background look like they're orange logs. You're trying to make it like balance it, right? When really, like, if you just turned off the overhead lights that are hitting those cabins while she's writing the vows, or just kind of repositioned her in a certain way.
The table's a
and
mess
made
too,
it a
which I
little
don't
bit more.
like.
Yeah, the table's a mess. You know, there's a couple things there.
So-
Sometimes you don't have control over it, but most times I think you do.
Well, here's my question to you, Jared. In this situation, if you couldn't get the lights off for some weird reason, would you just get the light on her to look natural and say to heck with the background?
Yeah, I would probably warm her up a little bit.
Cool. Great.
I would make that hair light that's hitting that part just a little less blue.
Yeah, that's all I can look at is her blue hair light.
Yeah,
And
it
the
just
nose,
makes
and the rim of her
it feel weird.
nose, too.
And honestly, like, she's your main subject. Like the note that she's writing on looks a little bit blue, so yeah, I would warm it up a little bit more, or do the old black and white trick.
Yeah, the whole black and white. All right. If you're new to wedding films, it's less so now because we have 10-bit color and a lot better grading capability. But in the old days, we would be like anything over 2000 ISO, we have to do black and white.
Yeah.
Oh, it's vintage looking.
Yeah.
thinking, whoa, who is that? We dated for 6 months in high school and were each other's junior prom dates.
It's a cool shot
We
of the
stayed
room.
best friends for the next
shot of
11
Brad.
years and our same group of home friends. Fast forward to our 10-year high school reunion.
So,
we went
can you
together.
go back to those shots, Jay, of the groom prep?
Yeah, it was like.
So on
I
a shot like that,
really don't like that shot.
Stayed best friends for the next
okay, yeah,
11
that shot
years.
there.
And our
So the two shots back to back, the wide shot handheld 5D Mark IV looks like. I know because we use those cameras for so long. I can spot it from a mile away. Yeah, the wide angle there isn't doing many favors. That's probably like a 24 to 70 on the 24, which we always told our guys to try to avoid. Try to get a little bit more of a compressed shot. So stepping back if you could, or asking the groom to step back. I don't mind the light that's hitting him here. That's what, I think he had
Yeah,
the
I
right
wonder how much
idea.
space he would have had, but I look at
Yep.
it and go like, honestly, that window in the background is hideous. Like,
Yeah.
I would have wanted to get this as blurry as possible and get a lot of compression on it and really take him out. Like, one of those keys you guys like can really think about is like when you have these lenses that are all shooting 2.8 and 1.2, you don't want to rely on blur and bokeh and like use that as your number one storytelling mechanic. But if you can take people out of ugly rooms and put them in just nice light and it kind of minimizes the ugliness of the background, that's really what Jared's talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not even really the window, because I think it would be nice to see some of that. I don't know if you could get, I like the wood grain. I like the textures in the background here. But yeah, if you're stepping back, getting it a little bit more compressed, it's just going to look a lot better. And then also the movement of it's tough. Like usually the groom is going to put his coat on without even notifying you. He's just going to kind of do it. And just asking him like, hey, hang on one second. Let me get my shot. Okay, go for it. Essentially like action.
And I want to,
and then this shot here, the silhouette, putting him right in between wasn't doing the groom any favors. You want him to be in the light so that you see his silhouette. When you have that line hitting right there, that's just a composition type of shot. But the exposure's right on. You're exposing for your highlights. You had the right idea. It's just a matter of trying to position them right.
I'm not sure I would have wanted it in my film though. I don't like what's going on outside. I would have, and then your horizon's so crooked.
Yeah.
Like
that's another thing.
I would have wanted to back it. If I'm going to do a shot like that, I want to see his whole body, feet, everything.
Yeah.
Standing there and like really, because what you're trying to do is say like, look, he was in this place. That's the point of that.
If you look at like the Masters, they'll get a shot like this.
Yes.
Like Ray Roman would love a shot like this, but they would probably put him right up next to the windows. They would probably give him like a profile, and then they would have him do one of these as like a nice profile. That's a classic like Ray Roman shot.
Yeah, I just don't like seeing that girl's legs.
Is that what's out there? I'm trying to.
Yeah, there's like a girl sitting in a chair, and these guys like looks like he's giving her a weird massage. It's like,
okay.
It's just like
we're seeing something else in the background.
Yeah, it's just like it just kind of takes me out, and then you're hitting two shots in a row that really should be wider.
Yep.
Like that shot should be way wider, and it shouldn't be moving at all.
Yeah,
I would get that on. I would lock that down.
Yeah, I agree. I think. Especially when your camera doesn't have IBIS and locking it down on a tripod or monopod.
Yeah, you could probably get away with the monopod.
I think would be, especially the wide shots, man. When your wide shots are moving, I kind of think that's a little bit of a no-no. When
I would
your
agree.
Wide shots are feeling, unless it has a good kind of handheld feel. This feels like things are happening and you're just trying to keep up with it, as opposed to being intentional with your handheld movements and letting things happen the way that you intended them.
Well, and it's a beautiful
it's
setting too.
Yeah.
Like I'm imagining, like if he backed up, he'd get more trees, he'd get more foreground, he'd some more lake, all that good stuff. So, by the way, guys, if you're watching, definitely hit like. That would help our channel a lot. Let people know. I would love it too if you want to go and share the actual stream with people. Let's get some more people on to check out the stream. Let's keep going.
10-year high school reunion. We went together as each other's dates jokingly and ended up getting back together that night.
That's nice.
It's nice. Yep.
Right?
That's nice. Nice moment.
Yeah, that's good.
Tender moments.
Christine, you've been my best friend,
That's a cool shot.
my mentor, my greatest
Okay,
challenge,
so this is what's happening.
and most
All these shots look awesome, man. These are your shots, right? Your second shooter is the person that essentially we've been critiquing. So get your second shooter to watch the video, because your shots are great. I can tell your composition is much better than your second shooter's was, and that's all that's happening there. So,
Most likely, I would tend to think.
Yeah.
We're like ripping on this
That's-
second shooter.
I know. Because these shots are nice and compressed, and you're using your nice cameras. You know,
Yeah.
I think you're using your C100.
Okay,
and
before we move on from this is a really interesting element about wedding filmmaking.
Yeah.
Someone else shooting with you using worse equipment than you.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
there's a reason we buy all our cameras and everyone shoots on the same cameras.
Yeah. And this is an interesting thought because it's so important to blow people away early in your film, because that's the thing that's going to gain their trust for the rest of the film. That's the thing that's going to allow them to like want to watch it for minute, one, and then they're like, wow, minute one was awesome. It's worth me investing minute 2, 3, 4, all the way to minute 7. So minute 1 is so important, and oftentimes that's going to be beginning of the day when it's like high noon light, which is just hard to make look awesome.
People are not made up at all.
People not, make bride with her makeup off, and then groom with your second shooter shooting, and it's not necessarily you. So just, I don't know. I think it's an interesting thought when you're thinking from a viewer's perspective, trying to understand what's going to maintain people's eyeballs through the film. And this is, the couple's going to love this. Obviously, they're going to watch it. But you're talking about your, second tier, third tier, family, friends, random people on the internet. You have all these tiers of different types of viewers. What is going to retain people's, interest the longest and not have them skipping ahead to the good parts?
Yeah, it's interesting. Just the idea of like one of the storytelling mechanics of wedding filmmaking is just always like, what order do you tell the story and for what reason? And like, the linear way is much easier.
Yeah.
And I don't have an issue with it. I do think like, until you're like, when you're maybe at a certain place in your career, you can kind of do whatever you want. But I think especially earlier in your career, trying to make sure the first 30 seconds of all your films pop will benefit you. It doesn't mean that, I guess it doesn't really matter what you put there, but just making sure that it draws people in and there's like a level of like interest. And like, I'll see some people's films and they start with someone like talking by themselves for 45 seconds. And I'm like, no one's going to watch it. They're going to tune out right away. So anyway, interesting. We're getting very theoretical with this film critique. Moving on.
Yeah, I think we are.
importantly, you are the love of my life. You stuck by me through the best and the worst, and loved all that I am, and helped me to be.
That's a weird song
Nice shot.
transition.
So stop it there, Jay. A nice little fractal. So going from the groom shot to the bride shot, they look so different, right? Look at the contrast there, and then going to the bride shot, she's super like washed out and dreamy looking.
Yeah, I'm wondering
that can
what
probably be like a difference in gear. kind of what we've been talking about. Bruno brought it up in the chat, just having the same gear. But then also, you know, what's your color grade looking like? What's your angle looking like? Are they, you know, complementing each other? I feel like these angles are tough as far as that. I don't feel like they complement each other very well.
Yeah, I would have liked to see
They
a little
speak to each
more,
other.
of
but
an extreme angle, a little
Yeah.
more over his shoulder, maybe. You know, I was talking
Yep.
with I was telling you I was talking with Kaylin Rome from White and Reverie today, and we're
Yeah.
talking about just, you know, matching cameras and just kind of how
Yep.
hard it is. He has his awesome company, which I encourage you guys to check out, Gamut Lutz. They are actually working on developing, and they have a few really awesome, basically camera matching LUTs to help people match. But that's one of the biggest things. I recommend Leeming LUTs too, even though Leeming's they're a little more techy because you got to know how to expose for them. But like basically this idea of like I'm shooting with two different cameras. How do I make them match?
Yeah.
How do I get them to look the same? Because I'm going to put my creative look. And I'm telling you guys, don't be afraid to stack your LUTs. If you're not comfortable with color grading and you're kind of more, and you feel like you're more basic, if you can get them to match up to get maybe like a Rec 709 standard, and then you put your creative look on top, I think you're going to be very surprised how close you can get different cameras to match, assuming you're shooting with a high quality. And the only thing I'd tell you is like mixing and matching cameras, the one thing you don't want to do to the best of your ability is mismatch bit rates. Like shooting 8-bit color with 10-bit color. You don't really want to be doing that because then you won't even be able to recover them. So, cool. So that's that. Let's keep going.
It was always just so easy with you. Everything always just played out really naturally. For the first time in my life, you made me feel like I have a real partner. We decide everything together.
That must be fake, right, Jared?
I think those are fake. I said they were fractal before,
Oh, my
but
Lord.
I think they are. I think they are a fake thing.
So let's talk about using fake overlays, and I'll tell you why I don't like this. When I don't like it. I don't like fake overlay, and I'm fine with fake overlays. We use them all the time. What I don't like about this one is that you have a moving shot, and then the overlay is just kind of sitting there. Which that's not what it would do.
Yeah. This one in this shot does move a little bit.
Well, it's moving like the motion that they put in the actual overlay, like a spinny motion, but it's not moving with the camera.
Yep.
So like
motion
what?
is
If you made me feel
definitely
like
a
I have
thing.
a real partner.
The
We decide
thing
everything.
that I don't like about it is the rainbow.
Yeah, it's too
Because
bright.
like, because the thing about a lens flare, right, is and the thing that you like about a lens flare is that it's going to look like it's made by your lens, and not like it's made by a fractal. And the rainbow feels a little bit distracting to me because I know that no lens that I've ever used would break that way. Right.
Well, it's supposed to be a fractal.
Like using
I thought.
like
a prism is what I thought it was supposed to be.
A prism, like that. That's like a prism that you'd find at grandma's house, as opposed to the way that a lens flare would hit a piece of glass that you would use. Some pieces of glasses might be a little bit more stringy. I'm looking at Jay's zoom right now that no one else sees, and it's nice and stringy. And actually a little bit, there you go. Yeah, just wipe it down a little bit. Perfect.
It's dirty.
but also, just knowing how a piece of glass, especially your glass, will interact with light.
Yeah, with fake stuff, I think that's huge.
Yeah, and when you're going to use fake stuff, to really tone it down so it's like very subtle. Because I'm a filmmaker, so these little things like are gonna tweak me probably a little bit more than they would, this bride and groom probably didn't even freaking notice it. Some might, but if you're taking people out because it's a little bit too distracting, I'm taken out because I'm like, that's not natural in camera.
It doesn't look real. It didn't look the way a prism would actually look.
Yeah.
So, but that being said, I think you can do really fake stuff if you're trying to be very crazy. but this is not
Yep.
trying to look crazy. This is trying to look natural. So I would say
Yep.
toning
Yep.
it down a little would be good. And
Yep.
maybe keyframing it a little to match the bump, or maybe using a different overlay that didn't move the wrong direction. So anyway,
agree.
moving on.
I agree.
Together, and we do everything together.
Your cuts are on point.
Only you two will know how to be the best husband and wife for one another over the years.
That is an awesome religion. Whatever that religion lets you wear, that it's awesome looking. That golden. This looks nice to me, and I feel like the lights, like the saturation here, is different than the other ones.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll say, man.
The greens
I
are
mean,
nice.
For you only having access to them for the getting ready and the ceremony, that's hard to do, man.
Pretty
that's,
good.
That's really tough. You only have a certain amount of assets, like, and then a nice little portrait session afterwards. That's nice, man. We started doing a package through COVID. That was, we called it an elopement package, and that's probably very similar. I think we're usually there up to 4 hours, and we're delivering a 3 to 5 minute highlight film. That's what this kind of feels like, and I think you're doing good with the assets and the access that you were given.
I think so too. I don't find this to be boring. So moving on.
No, and
You'll
they'll
have
love
to
it.
wade through mental library of what you have accumulated over the years and make the best decisions that is
Look
best
at
for
that.
your
He's like a
partner and you
superhero.
during your marriage at that time.
I want to hear people's guesses about what religion that is. I have no idea. I would love to know. Good silhouette, by the way. That's cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, by the authority vested in me by the American Marriage Ministries in the state of New York,
American Marriage Ministries, is that what they get to wear?
I'm looking it up right now.
He's got a cowl. Like an actual golden cowl. That's because I would say that if it's one of those like, oh, you get registered so you can marry your friends.
All right. We're gonna dive into this after the film.
The American
because
Marriage Ministry.
I don't want to. I don't want to
take away from
people
this.
out of the film that we're currently watching.
Because we're going down a
Talk
rabbit
about the
trail.
American Man. Yeah, we may actually. It might happen. But yeah.
This is the way I live my life, Benjamin. This is the way I live my life. Finding something mildly amusing and obsessive over it.
Yes.
I'll pronounce you married. You may kiss the bride.
This is what I'm always wanting these people, like when they hit, I always want, and like maybe I'm just generic and boring and like I want every film to be the same. So I don't want to do that. But like I always want when song hits a crescendo, I just want my edits to like keep up. Yeah, like give me some more, give me some more. And I feel like a lot of times it doesn't. But anyway.
You want them to play your heartstrings a little bit more. Just
like
start grooving here.
I think like
they're feeling it.
Wedding films are all about like
bass.
creating like a suspension of relief, and then when you hit these climaxes, releasing, right? So like you're building tension, like because you don't have real story tension. We talk about this a lot. The storytelling of wedding films is not a real story, which is like, oh, Thanos came and killed the whole world, and then oh look, he killed everyone. Everything's bad. Oh, he's going to win even more. But then, oh, the Avengers come out of a portal, right? It's like if you didn't have those lulls, you don't have like the momentum of storytelling. And we don't get negative. We don't get enemies. We don't like when we're wedding filmmakers, the way we create story is with song and sound.
Yeah.
And editing. And so when you're getting to this point and you're like creating this tension, it's slow. And then you have this opportunity to go, bah, and like release and go for it. I feel like I just feel like it's a missed opportunity, Jared.
Yeah. I feel it.
That's beautiful right there.
I vowed to put all my effort into strengthening our marriage and to keeping our lives exciting, adventurous, and full of passion. I promise to show you every day that I know exactly how lucky I am to have you in my life.
That was a nice little wraparound.
Yep.
I don't love that
Yep.
last shot personally, like because I don't think it's that good. But I like the way he kind of was like, "What's an emotional moment?" Like that probably made them feel good. Man, that's an interesting film, Jared. What do you think about that?
I liked it. I bet the couple absolutely loved it, which is really, at the end of the day, all that matters.
No, I thought we're trying to impress wedding filmmakers, Jared.
Yeah, that's certainly why I got into this.
Yes.
To impress wedding filmmakers. But no. Yeah, I think they would have loved this, especially, like I said, given the assets that you were given the access you were given, you crushed it. You had a vision and seemed like, you got all the moments. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think minus that little sequence, the one camera looking weird, some of the getting ready stuff, and I was gonna say the only thing I like how this looks, but I kept noticing how gray his skin looked throughout the film, and I was wondering if I just wanted a little more life to both of their skin tones. That's just my opinion. That's not really cinematography. That's just because I like the greens. And so normally when you look at something, maybe it's Canon. Yeah. So I know Canon's got a lot of reds. Maybe you're just trying to tone it down. And I maybe went a little too far, but that's just so interesting. But yeah, I like the film. I think it's shot well. I would have liked to see, I'll always tell people, I'm like, the masters know how to include atmospheric B-roll, things that are interesting to look at. People like, I didn't see anyone laughing, any of their friends or family.
Yeah, and also the setting too. Like, what does the place feel like a little bit? I wish it seemed like a cool, like, campgroundy type of deal. I wish I could have seen a little bit more of it. Just like whether it's down by the water and just get a sense of like, okay, what kind of atmosphere are we entering? Maybe a little bit more of that stuff. To not only just show a sense of like place, but then also help just give the film, I think, a little bit more texture.
Well, and also like some of those weaker shots.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Like when you can only use your best shots once. And you want to use them when you want to use them. But if you run out of shots because you're using all your shots and you don't have anything to like allow you to set. I saw that with a fine women. How's that going for you, bro?
Ben, I'm curious how that's working out for you, man. Ben says he got into wedding filmmaking to find women, which actually you do get access to a lot of women through wedding filmmaking. So
I wouldn't recommend you try to approach it that way. Yeah. Maybe not the most professional, but
hey, we had a shooter who it worked out really well for him for a little bit before we had to like let him go.
we'd always tell him, he'd be like, that's funny actually.
Be like, dude, stop hitting on every bridesmaid, bro.
He'd come up to us, he'd be like, dude, hey dude, I think she's into me. I think I think that bridesmaid's into me.
He was like a workout photographer, so that was his place. He would always be like, "Oh, well, I could take some photos of you. Like, we could just like do like work out. Like, here's my Instagram. And that was his move.
That was his one move, his go-to move.
Go to work.
Yes, that stuff. Anyway, but yeah, no, the blue skin and the blue, like the grayish skin tones, I noticed a little bit throughout the film. Like, and he
certainly. And
then of course we talked about and this is an editing thing, I think, which is the use of like overlays. You can do almost anything, almost as much as you want if you do it tastefully. you know?
Yeah.
And I think that was a little off. But I think it's honestly pretty impressive for like what he's working with there, which is like a really, really tricky scenario. And I think he nailed it in a lot of ways. So and the editing is good.
Yeah, I agree. I think the editing is on cue. I think if you can just get the consistency of gear and your second shooter to match what you're shooting, that's gonna take you a long way. And I don't think he's in the chat right now, but
we're assuming it's a second shooter, by the way.
I am assuming it's the second shooter because the shooting style is so different, and the lens is different. Like he's using some sort of like 50 to 85 for some of it, and those shots look dope, look really good throughout the film. And then once he gets wide, like Jay, like our shooters sometimes get wide, and we're like, dude, give me the widest I want you to give me is like a 35.
Well, unless you're gonna really back up and do something awesome, like wide shots have to be like I think wide shots are easy to get, like 5 or 6 great wide shots every wedding.
Yeah.
But like don't like just walk around with a lens and stand like 3 feet in front of somebody on 24, because then you get lens distortion and it looks like crap. Don't do that.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's move on.
Cressy, and I'm really excited to move on a little bit because I definitely want to talk a little bit more about the American Marriage Ministries.
Okay, let's talk about American Marriage Ministries because
I'm just pulling it up on Wikipedia, and I'm looking at it, and it says American Marriage Ministries is a non-denomination internet church based in Seattle. Of course, it's in Seattle. Nothing against Seattle, but y'all are a little wacky. It's all good. The church was founded by some person, blah, blah, blah. The church is a secular, non-denomination organization that does not promote any specific religious ideologies, instead allowing its ministers to define their own practice and faith. So this guy,
did he invent that outfit?
Created his own thing and actually cut out his own fabric. In my brain, that's what I'm creating, and I like it. I think that's like, hey.
That would be awesome.
All this said, Jason, I have a question for you. If you were to define your own religion, faith, I mean, what would be kind of the main tenets of your faith, and how would it apply to the wedding that you would administer?
So let's just talk about outfits then, because
like
if I had my own religion, where we would register people for marriage, like that would be our thing. That'd be our brand. We'd sell those papers. Man, I would want every time one of my people officiated a wedding that everyone would know it. I would want our brand to be strong.
Okay.
So it would have to be something like, because when you see a Catholic priest, you're like, oh, that's a Catholic priest. Like Catholicism has a strong visual brand.
It does. I agree.
Or like, Hindi weddings or whatever. So I'm thinking like, what can we do to really separate ourselves? We got to break away from those Judeo-Christian religions so people don't think like I'll give this guy one little criticism, which is like, he has a cross that doesn't look very like non-denominational to me. So I would say like, you have to have your own made up symbol on your shirt. Mine would be close to Batman. And I would want people to think it was Batman, but it wasn't Batman. I basically, my goal would be that the people had to wear like a superhero outfit.
Okay.
It has to be a cape.
This guy was kind of going that direction.
He had a cowl. If he was a superhero, I'd call him the Golden Cowl. But but I think something with a cape would be important. I think I don't even think that spandex are out of the question. At least for the top. Maybe a skirt, maybe like a red skirt with a spandex top.
Okay.
And then a cape.
Okay.
And then definitely a big hat. But it would have to be like maybe an orb instead of like the Catholic like tall thing, like an orb.
Ah. Oh yeah, okay. Kind of like a halo?
No, like a ball. like
a full globe. Like a space thing.
No, like a clown's nose, but with his face sticking out of it.
I love that. Okay.
That would be my outfit, and everyone would be like, "Oh, that's from that church, the Internet Church of Marriage."
Yeah, yeah. I like that.
I
Get on board with that.
what about you?
I just think more churches or churches or
Internet churches.
defined internet churches, defined faiths should include more fire in
Oh my
everything, like
God.
pyrotechnics.
Yes.
Like, why not?
Why not?
It's impressive. It makes a mark. It's definitely, I think, good for most brands.
Well, Freddie Mercury was a Zoroastrian, and they had fire in like everything. They had like a fire religion. We need more of that.
That sounds interesting to me. Zoroastrian.
Yeah, they had their religion has all kinds of fire.
You know, astrology, I think, would have to play a little bit of a role because that stuff's just cool, like stars.
People love it.
And
millennial kids, they love astrology.
Yeah. So there'd be a good bridge to just build the kids towards.
So you would make them include astrology in the wedding ceremony.
Yeah.
Based on you, Sagittarius. Do you take Aquarian?
Well, and because I do want to promote more weekday weddings as opposed to just weekend weddings.
Yes.
I would definitely make certain like Wednesdays and Tuesdays be very important.
Holy days.
Holy days. Yeah. So where they could only get married on a Tuesday or Wednesday, because I think it would work well for my wedding brand.
Yes. You got to be able to sell those things. Your officiants are working. And like they know that by getting associated with your brand, they're going to get weddings. One more thing about this. I'm just wondering about something that's more Enneagram based for weddings. Like an Enneagram based religion.
Out of the Enneagram.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
You'll just say like, I'm not doing this wedding. This marriage is going to be a disaster. And you just leave.
It would definitely be interesting. It'd be like a game show.
An 8 and a 7? I don't think so.
Yeah.
All right. Our next, what has happened to this live stream?
I mean, it's all important stuff.
Brought to you by YOLO Box. YOLO Box. Buy it. All right. Oh, I spilled. All right. The next film is brought to you by Gift Ramatosepi. Sorry. We'll try reading that again and not embarrassing myself. That seems to be the theme tonight, though. Gift.
Well, at least the audio isn't terrible tonight, Jay. I gotta give you credit for that.
I don't know how to say that. It's a beautiful name. Ramatosepi is what it looks like to me. And I'm going to share the link on there. And like I always say, give these filmmakers some love. If they have an Insta or something like that, follow them. Let them know what.
I am so excited about this film because it's a fellow Fuji friend. Fuji game is strong these days. So they use two Fuji XH1s, the 23 millimeter, 90 mil, the Viltrox, which I like those Viltrox.
I haven't used them. I'm curious about them though.
And the 56. So I'm excited to see this because there's not a lot of Fuji folk out there.
There should be. There should be more of us.
I agree.
Yep. So we're gonna watch this film, guys. Like I always say, help us out. Hit the like button. Love it. If you're interested in like joining, we have mentorships as well, and we have coaching, and we have, like I said, memberships. So we want to pour into you guys as much as possible. We think we got a bunch of great people over here. So if you're interested, go ahead, check out the link below. If you're not interested and you just want to sit here and enjoy this free live stream, then that's cool too. So let's do that, Jared. Here we go. I'm wondering where this wedding is, by the way. It does not look like the States.
That looks like
it says .za. I wonder if that's Zaire or Africa. Somewhere in Africa.
Wow. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool. So anyway, let's watch.
Yeah.
Oh no, I messed it up. Again.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Can I just say, this is a thing that I always look at, and maybe this is just me, Jared. Groom hand placement. Like, that's a little...
I think just
And just
hands always tell a story. Always.
It looks like a weird portrait that like you're doing like a freeze, like it's like a new internet game where everyone freezes.
Yeah.
Like I get that happens sometimes. I'm not really crazy about shooting portraits like this where like they're frozen in a half kiss, but that's just me and most people.
And again, it might be the photographer and you're kind of just along for the ride kind of thing.
Yep. But I think with this smoke, I would have wanted to get some like more motion out of it. And I would have wanted to get it in the composition a little more even.
Yeah.
And you're going to start seeing like in the background, people like walking by and stuff. And anyway.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Like look what he's doing with his eyes.
His eyes, yeah, that's exactly what I noticed. And that's on whoever's directing that, right? Is like, and also, it is on the person who's actually doing the editing too, to notice like maybe that's the only shot you got of them doing this nice profile and it's a nice shot, but he's
it
doing
isn't
that
though.
Weird eye thing.
It isn't. Look right here.
That's nice.
Just start it here.
Yep. Yep.
And they don't finish the kiss either. Like, there's a lot of weirdness going on with the way they're interacting. And I think you just want to minimize that in the edit. You want to and then there's some like really, I would say careless composition too. Like you're including this smoke element and then it's just like randomly on the right side and they're not fully centered and it's like, what are you going for there? So it looks nice though. I will say that. So I don't want, it's not like a total, I don't want to make it seem like this is horrible or whatever. That's not how I feel. So. Okay, so let's talk about shutter speed right here. This is the one time where I will tell people like your shutter speed kind of matters. It's just shooting water fountains. Because if you have your shutter speed in a weird way, it looks like the water's going backwards. Unless you're trying to do that on purpose, it looks weird. So.
Yeah.
I love you so much, Wale.
That's cool.
You brought so much joy into my life. The times I feel you're too good to be true.
I will say, we'll see if he does it. I hope I see her speaking.
You're my best friend.
For 1 second, you did.
Take care of me like no one has ever.
Oh, okay. Yep.
See, I would have shown a lot more of that during that session because that was really beautiful what she said. Like, you take care of me like no one else ever, and she's really emotional.
Yeah.
I like the idea of some of the cuts because he was clearly referencing like, oh, you make me laugh, like referencing his personality a little. But I kind of wanted to stay in that moment, just like you said. Like, I feel like that was cool, and it looked nice the way he shot it and all this good stuff. So.
Yeah.
See how different they look right here, Jared, when they're interacting naturally? Look at the look on his face.
Yes. And I don't know. We see one perspective here in the US that's like people know what they're supposed to do, kind of.
The industry
I don't
is
think it's like that everywhere in the world. Like you could go to Australia and there's certain things that they're just like, that's weird that you guys do that over there. Probably the same way, like portraits, like people aren't used to being, no one is used to being in front of the camera.
No.
But I agree. I like these. I would say before those shots are much more like narrative and posed and positioned. These are These are much more documentary style. Like, hey, you're just filming them, and look at his face. He looks cool and collective, and like
I love his suit.
Him. Yeah,
it's suited. This dude is cool.
Freaking on fleek. That thing is dope.
I love that he was like, I'm wearing this. Like, it's cool, man.
Hell yeah.
And I think posing is fine, but the goal is to like kind of minimize the weirdness, and that's all I think is like I think just it kind of felt like they were like, keep going. Can I, and like that kind of thing. And here you're seeing like their personality come out, and they look awesome. They look happy. It's good. It all looks good too. Like I keep saying, it's really nice.
Yep.
Like that's really nice right there. That's cool.
That's cool. Yep.
That's really, I love that too.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
My wife. In your arms I have found home.
Mm.
In your eyes I have found compassion. In your heart I found love. In
This
your
dude is
soul
cool.
I found kind spirit. You are my everything.
Audio
Dear
needs to come
beloved,
back up.
We're gathered here today before
Beautiful.
Lord, the creator of the universe, in whom
Weird.
all things consist.
Yeah, you notice that frame rate change?
Yeah, and the color, back to back. There was almost a jump cut, and the color changed there to there.
creator of
Look
the-
how much. I mean, we're looking at it through YouTube compression, but you can tell it changes. The yellows, and it becomes a little bit more minty. But that's a sweet looking shot. Right there, it becomes more minty green.
Yeah.
You know, so something to think about.
It's a pretty moment. Like, I feel like I wanted more. Like, I love the way you did that first, not even first look, like letter. That's so beautiful. Then reading
Yeah.
those letters to each other back. I mean,
Yeah.
that was such a beautiful moment. I wish we did that in the States. I'll steal
Yeah.
that sometime because I love, like, I felt emotional about it, and I'm looking at this and I can see the emotion. But yeah, the color shift is weird, and then the frame
Dude.
rate shift that comes up is weird too.
I love these shots. Like on camera, they look really cool. I would say, you know, be careful with the Fuji XH one, and really all Fuji's. Fuji's probably downfall is in their highlights, and you're getting pretty close to like that top left of that frame right there is getting pretty close. Even the side of his face to being blown out.
I'll
So
tell you,
just
it looks a
be
little
wary.
better over here. Because
Yeah,
I have
I'm
it
looking
downloaded.
at it on YouTube on my phone, and it looks way better than what I'm looking at.
But yeah, it's getting there. But I mean,
It's getting there.
The
It's
skin
getting
tones
there.
are incredible throughout the
Yeah.
film. I think he does a great job with that.
The creator
I
of the
agree.
universe, in whom all things consist.
Jay, you were just talking about someone
And
wearing
his
a globe,
people-
weren't you? Like,
Yeah, I want it to be the face is revealed and the globe is just like, it's like.
all right, okay.
So he's wearing the opposite. Like
Okay.
The
okay.
reverse.
So would you say he's like anti
He's-
your made up religion?
Yes, he's in our
nemesis.
competing brand.
Okay.
To join
Ooh, that's beautiful.
Brother David
Really cool.
Oluwole Awokulode and Sister Patience.
Oh, Sister Patience. I love that. I love that her name is Patience. That's
The
so
church is
cute.
so cool.
Really cool. Dude. I want to hear.
I really I like this. It's emotional. I could have done without a couple of those other shots personally, but I like the mom or the dad and the daughter walking in, the emotion. I think
Yeah,
that's nice.
I do like Dad. Yeah, these are nice, man.
It looks pretty.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Marriage is an honorable status ordained by God Himself even before the fall of man. And it
These are nicely
symbolizes
composed.
the
Jamie
union
Chu,
between Christ
they're freaking
and the
living the
church.
life.
That Christ sanctions marriage
Those are good details,
is evidenced by the
They are good details.
dude. That guy has dope shoes. This dude is
He's
cool.
got style, man. He has really good style.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
fact that he honored
Whoa.
an invitation to a
What did he
wedding
say?
dinner of Galilee, and there he performed his first miracle by the turning of water to wine.
Well, you gotta fix. You gotta do. You can't do that with the audio. Just kind of clips in out of nowhere. Look, listen. When you're, you gotta make sure you gotta give her a little bit of lead on that audio, so you don't have it go like, pop, and just pop in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Sister Patience Bushe, today accept you,
Yeah.
Brother David.
Yeah.
Olawale.
Dude, that guy has such good style.
Hola, ole.
He's got sunglasses.
Hola, ole.
You know what that means, right?
Your wealth has come.
I could listen to her voice literally all day.
As my husband.
It's so beautiful.
To have. To hold. For better.
Oh my gosh, I love this
plenty.
bride so much.
In health. In all circumstances.
It's interesting how you can watch a film and kind of fall in love with the couple.
Yep.
You know, and like the films where I just don't connect, and I wonder if that's just good wedding filmmaking, and that's what it is. It's like all the stuff we're criticizing, we're going like, I feel like he did a great job showing me who these people are, even though like the weird posing at the beginning, but like I think the rest, I'm feeling connected with them, I'm understanding them, and if I'm feeling that way, they probably feel that way.
Yep.
So,
I agree.
Interesting.
And obey you. According to the will of God. For the rest of my life. In the name of the Father. Son. And the Holy Spirit.
She's like, what's next?
So, stopping there, Jay. On that ceremony coverage, I love the foreground of the candles. I think that's really nice what he was doing with that. The only thing is both cameras are essentially shooting at each other. You're on one side of the bride and groom shooting through those candles, shooting her and her kind of face, which I love. But then you have another camera on the other side that's essentially, you're doing that like crossfire. And it's not allowing the angles to line up and really like, I don't know. I always talk about it, but like your cameras to like speak to each other. It's like the bride is looking left to right, and then she's looking right to left, and then on the next shot she's looking left to right, which can sometimes it just breaks the 180 degree rule, which, you know, I don't know. We're not in this to be super technical and be film nerdy, but sometimes it can kind of go against the grain of telling a story. I love foreground in a shot like that. I think that's beautiful. I think I would have preferred to do both shots on that side if you were going to pick that
I mean,
side.
my opinion is you can never really actually have a film where everyone's like, ugh, too much good foreground. Like, it just looks good. It just looks good. Yeah.
For better. In plenty. In health. In all circumstances. I will cherish.
This film's long, though.
And obey you.
You know, what I would have
God.
done here, because what she's doing is she's just repeating whatever the officiant is telling her to say. I would have sped it up and made it just seem like she said the whole thing without any kind of pauses.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And then you put B-roll over it and you make it seem like she's just saying it, because it is just dragging on. It's like useless seconds where you could be in control of the pacing.
We
Instead,
don't
you're letting
often
them
include
dictate it.
Sometimes you have to, but like if we can avoid it, we don't include like read vows, like copied vows in our films often. Like if they're just repeating after the priest, we don't even put it in the film.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, you know, I'm all about the personal vows though. But anyway, that's us.
This is a cool venue though.
Yeah. Whatever country this is, I want to go.
Yeah.
Son. And the Holy Spirit.
Dude, this wedding's filled with
this
ballers.
holy
They all look
Bible.
awesome.
Which
My
is the
venue's
word of
dope.
God. Hi. David Holawole.
Yeah, and it could be that the
Marry
couple
you.
is like, I want my vows.
Patience.
Yeah.
Buffett.
Again, I would have just cut it out and sped it up.
I surrender
cut out
myself
the officiant.
to you.
I hope this dance
pause.
party.
That shot's awesome.
cherish
That nice
you.
foreground shot.
Yeah.
With all my love.
What? The dresses are on little mannequins? That's
Yeah, I think that's
Stylized.
really that's such a cool part of like different cultures just do that stuff differently. It's just interesting. They had like a boudoir session or something. like a whole set.
This is the day the Lord has made. We
Yes.
will be glad in it. It's not just an ordinary day for no one. It's a special day from them. It marks a new beginning in their
Really
life.
cool.
And this new beginning, God Almighty will see them through. I
Good
pray
speaking
for
parts in this
blessings. I
moment,
pray
or
for
in this
fruitfulness. I
film.
pray for God's
I love
grace.
it.
God's grace supersedes every other thing. I pray for God's grace.
Terrible
All my
sounding
friends
microphones.
sometimes it's their baby, but you know, he's got a pretty
Oh, he
strong wife
changed.
in there. So
Or maybe he was wearing that underneath his
so
little jacket.
we raise our glass right now.
No,
a
different
toast
guy.
to Mr. and Mrs. Awokulude in the name of the
Oh,
Father.
wow.
Groom.
Dude, these people are ballers.
Yeah.
They both changed.
Friggin'
She looks like
Awesome.
that's cool, dude.
So different.
I
So
wish
different.
I want to
love
shoot
it.
this wedding so bad. You did a good job, but I
too.
want to do it too.
Of the Son
Yeah.
and of the Holy Spirit.
Bring it. We move. No, not that. No. No.
Oh yeah, the gimbal moving. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. All right, Jay. Talk.
You hit dancing at the top of that. Do, 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 do. Show me something cool. Like, I've been watching these people kiss and hug and talk and do this whole for like 4 minutes.
So let's talk about what happened, and then let's talk about what you wish happened. So
Okay, let's go back.
The crescendo of the song is like building, you know, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and it's building up
Yeah.
towards this moment where he's like, do, and then the microphone peaks out,
Yeah.
and then the song kind of dies down, and then
They just like
a
drink
gimbal
a
shot
drink.
moves from one shot to the other, and you want it to be like, boom.
This is when your film takes off.
Right.
And I'm
And
gonna
then
be
it-
extra upset, by the way, if these people go have a crazy dance party later.
You know it's gonna be a good dance party.
Like,
You know
what?
it's gonna
Let's just
be a
watch
lot
this
of
moment
energy.
again.
People, yeah.
We move. Ah!
It kind of like it does pick up there actually.
The song does, but they just drink a drink.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like. Yeah. Anyway. Again, this could just be personal
I think
preference.
I understand why he wanted to include the shot because they're doing the whole, you know.
Yeah, include it later.
The arm thingy, but it's more important to get the cut right.
Yeah, deliver on those moments. It doesn't have to be told in order.
Yeah.
You can just put it in later. There's no reason. Like, hit the edit point.
Agree.
Bring it.
Agree.
Bring it when you can bring it. They don't give you that many opportunities to
Yep.
really nail it in a film. So that's how they came down the aisle. I love
Yeah.
that, dude. These people are cool.
Okay, so this is a dance party, and he's wearing. When did they change?
This is confusing. Yeah, no, maybe they had like another. I mean, maybe these
Maybe
weddings
it
are
was
just,
the night before.
or maybe the weddings are just very different.
I think maybe this is rehearsal. The where they had the outfit change might have been rehearsal.
Maybe.
And then this is from because they're in the same room, but they're wearing different outfits. So I'm curious to see how this plays out. These cuts need to be faster. Cut, 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 have a little bit of groove, a little faster. She's wearing a different outfit there. She was wearing a.
This I
is
think.
her third outfit.
Huh.
She's wearing something gold for a white dress, and then there she's wearing like a cute pink dress.
Whoa, that's cool, but it really peaked out, and I was not expecting it.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
Painting pictures over all the gray, lighting up my heart, illuminate, falling like a star, please never change.
I would say new
Be
song.
the one.
The song is a little bit too Disney Channel-ish for my liking for the
I just don't
reception.
think
I
the
wanna see it
party
rock.
is matching the energy.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't mind the song.
So-
I mean, if the people are into it, I mean, I'm okay with
Something
it.
I want to talk about once we get to the end, because I think we can talk through that once we reach the end.
Yep.
Walk away now that I got you. We could burn it down, 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 down. We could burn it down, 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 down. Look at what we found, 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 found. For you,
Who are their tailors? Because those suits fit so well.
down, 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 down. We could burn it down, 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 down. Look at what we found, 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 found. For you, I'm always down, 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 down.
Blue. All right. So
Okay.
let's I want to, before we get into, because I kind of wanted to talk, the dance floor footage. I feel like I'm trying to connect with what it feels wrong to me. Like it just wasn't like the way, obviously. What am I not liking here? That's my question. What's my issue with this dance floor footage?
Was it only one song the entire time?
Wala wali.
I don't think so.
We'll see them through. They for no.
Oli.
Nope. Started a new song in the middle.
Okay. So, I really thought, like, my first instinct at the very beginning was, it's kind of this like airy song. And I wish it was a poppy song to start with, because at the very beginning, you see people like dancing in the background. So, this energy is like there on the wedding day. And it kind of, the filmmaker made it seem a little bit slower than it actually was. And I wish it would have been interesting to start it off with like Miss Patience, my new favorite person in the world, starting it off with like saying what she said, like, no one treats me the way that you do, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, that's kind of how I wanted to feel at the very beginning, to like draw me in to the energy of the day. And then once you kind of, I wish this was one of those films that had a lot of energy, maybe for the first 30 seconds, and then kind of faded down.
Yeah, I
and then
agree.
it
I
was kind
agree.
of like-
I think the weirdness of the beginning partially was because of that, because it didn't match the energy of the couple. Because the more you get to know them, the more you're like, that wasn't them.
Yeah.
This is, I think the dance floor, I think he made the wrong decision with his exposure.
on the dance floor.
So if you're looking around, like there's a lot of like
And those
gross
highlights, man.
DJ lights all over the place.
Yeah.
And I would have went for more of like a dark look, like a lot of rim lighting and a lot of like just using those lights as like an effect, almost like peeking around, getting people like shooting slow-mo of like people really close up dancing and like really kind of, actually, do you remember the film Henry Martins did in I think it's Bahamas, but it might have been, it was somewhere Caribbean, and it was like that really, really, I mean, the dance floor is way crazier than this, but like that crazy dance floor, like really sweaty, and like I'm just feeling like I'm not.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like, and he just was like went with it, and this is just like he just cranked it, right? So a lot of this stuff is like, it just looks so flat. And then the lens is so wide the whole dance floor time. I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, agree.
But anyway, I mean, and that's just me being critical, man. Like, I think it's a good film. I really do. I think you're very talented, and I don't want to discourage you at all. Like, I think you did a lot of things right. I think the dance floor, get in there. And if not, get a tighter lens and like, let us feel make it feel like we're on a dance floor.
Yeah. And you know, I can empathize because just looking at, I mean, you shot all this on the wide shot. So what is that going to do? That's going to make it seem, because it seemed like this is kind of like a COVID-y type of wedding. There wasn't that many people there.
Yep.
Maybe there was like max 50 people, right? So what is a wide lens? I think it's probably that 23 that you were using.
Mhm.
That's going to be challenging to get that energy. Kyle just mentioned it in the comment section. Like, if you had a wider lens, you could kind of isolate your subjects a little
You
bit
mean a
more.
tighter lens?
And then you could, yeah, I'm sorry. If you had your tighter lens that was in a little bit more, it would allow you a bunch of different shots that you could cut together a little bit quicker. That would seem a lot different from shot to shot. And it would also give you a little bit more energy because it doesn't look like an empty dance floor.
Yeah, and you could shoot like you can actually get a lot more shot economy on a tighter lens.
Yeah.
Because like if you're shooting this one person and then you turn and you shoot this person, it's like totally different environments as opposed to like you're shooting this person dancing and then you're there dancing 5 seconds later and it's the same exact shot. Like so I think there's a lot like dance floor 101, which is like get in there, isolate people. Try to get faces too on dance floors. Like get people laughing and enjoying each other. Get people's feet. Kind of isolate the energy. And of course, a few wide shots are great, but I really think like, especially those Fujis, like you can shoot a little handheld too.
Yeah.
Like bring a little more of that energy. So overall,
H1.
Great film. A lot of things I like. A lot of things that are really good. I think a lot of really good decisions, and then some really puzzling ones.
Yeah. I would just encourage like every filmmaker out there to like, when you're creating a film, think about, think about your film as if it was on like a graph, right? Think about like where you're going to bring high energy, where you're going to bring people low, high. You want your film to feel dynamic. You want it to feel like, high energy, low energy, and a little bit of spacing, a little bit of pacing that's like, and exhale, and it brings it down a little bit more. And then you're going to bring the energy up, then you're going to bring it down. This film to me feels like low, high, low, higher at the end, and then end.
Well, and they brought all
Instead
the
of-
energy.
The
couple brought all the energy,
But
and
with-
like
with the
it needs a
edit-
little more edit.
It needs a little bit more edit, and that's what I would say. And your film can feel like down and a little bit more punchy when it's kind of down in that kind of slowness and the slow motion, and you're trying to make people cry and whatnot. But then it needs a little bit more of a climax, at least at some point, that allows people to, I don't know, feel something. You want to just give it to them through your pacing. So I would say that's a critique that every filmmaker out there should consider when they stand back and they look at their film. Like, okay, where am I really punching people in the stomach, in the gut with these kind of emotions?
Yep. And am I
using the
following
assets
my
that I get.
song too? Like, am I listening? Am I listening?
Yeah.
And I feel like, it's a good film. I think you have a lot of area to grow, and I think getting in that dance floor, getting a vision for how you shoot a dance floor, I think is big, because that film, that would have been way better if when that crescendo hit, that dance floor footage was bomb.
Yeah.
Like, and it was just kind of like, meh. It just kind of fell flat. That being said, I loved a lot of what you did throughout the day.
Yeah.
I really do. And so I think there's a lot to like there, and it's a good film, and like I'm sure the couple loved it. So great job. So we're gonna go to our next film because it's getting a little late and we want to keep moving. But before we kind of do, I wanted to remind you guys we got the YOLO box down here. This is an all-in-one live streaming thing. Kyle has several of them. Kyle from 87 and Smith pretty much moved to an all live streaming model at his film company, and he loves it a lot. And I love it too. It's a great product. So if you're looking for the easiest way to get into live streaming, add this product into your little kit, because you can bring it to every wedding and you can live stream, and it's great.
I was thinking about it, Jay, like, and I think you and I both, we talk about like, what is the future of the industry? What is the future of like wedding filmmaking? Like, where are we going with this thing? Like, I don't really see it being out of the realm of possibility that every single wedding has some sort of like wide shot live stream for people that can't make it.
Why
You
wouldn't
just
it?
honestly, you throw in your kit for like $500. Like, and I think with something like the YOLO box, I think it actually makes it happen. And it's like, hey, if it works, it works. If not, I'll refund you your $500. But it's easy enough for me to just plug the damn thing in, push play on it, and charge you a little bit of money to have a little bit of a live stream. Like,
I think people should at
interesting.
least explore it. I do.
Yep.
Most
Yep.
people should at least look into live streaming. I'm not saying it's for everyone, but you should at least look at it. But anyway, links in the chat. Thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight. We're going to do one more film. If you would like to submit a film, Jared's going to drop a link in there for those that want to submit films. We have content we're dropping every week, and I wanted to remind you guys about this. We have a podcast for wedding filmmakers that we release every Tuesday. We have it on all the podcast places, as well as we drop it on YouTube. So check it out. I know like that's kind of been a new thing for Wedding Film School on the channel, and like a lot of people are like, what is this weird hour-long content? I want to watch more BTS videos. But we just love it. We got actually some awesome people coming up on the show, and we're really excited. We think you guys should get connected to the best wedding filmmakers and understand what makes them tick. Not just coming for a critique, but being able to come and check out the best in the world. And we want to get more. So if you have some people you'd love to see on the show, who are your favorite wedding filmmakers, especially people in international audiences. We don't know everyone all around the world. I'm looking for it, by the way, the best filmmaker in India. That's my goal. I want to get somebody from India who makes these incredible films because it's something I don't know about. So I want to expose you guys to the best wedding filmmakers in the world. So, I mean, I would love it if you can drop in the chat, like, who are your favorite wedding filmmakers? But next, we're going to watch a film by Everhart Productions. Jared, why don't you give us a little, tell us about the film.
All right, so this next film, it's by Everhart Productions. And Everhart, is this your first time submitting? I think it's the first time I've seen one of your films. Not a lot of information. Sorry, my screen just went out. A7S3, Blackmagic 4K, DJI Mavic 2 Pro. They said the delivery was a 5+ minute video. It was my third wedding last year, 2 weeks after COVID shutdowns. 10-person ceremony, live streamed as well. It was tough to manage under
10-person ceremony. That's so.
It was tough to manage under Momzilla saying I was taking too long. Welcome to wedding filmmaking. Yeah, that's Momzilla. I thought you were trying to say Mediazilla there, but Momzilla.
Mediazilla, one of our partners. If you're looking to get an awesome solution, go ahead and click on Mediazilla.
I didn't mean to open it up for you to, promo everybody, Jay.
Well, sorry. Got to pay the bills.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, so that is the
that's it.
Feedback there, but A7S3, Blackmagic 4K, and then a Mavic 2 Pro for drones. So let's hop into it, dude. I'm excited about it.
Let's watch this film. Here it is, a film.
Life is that you really get to peer into a human being's soul at times of crisis, right? You guys went through some.
How awesome does that shot look?
I think it's freaking cool, man.
I was like, when I was like just capturing it, I was like, Jared is gonna freaking love this first shot, and I love that you went with it. I'm gonna go back and just because I missed the audio a little, I want to show you guys the audio because it's cool.
You know what's nice about life is that
a weird cut, but I like that you just started with the audio. It's kind of cool, and it looks incredible. It's like in this like cowboy bar. It's
okay. I'm trying to figure out is it neon lights?
Yeah, it's neon lights. Yeah.
Okay. You really get to peer into a human being's soul at times of crisis, right? You guys went through some pretty rough times this year, and you surfed it. You guys did amazing. So great.
So little does this guy know he's about to enter the worst year.
Worst times. Like, yeah, you guys got through it. You got through COVID.
Yeah.
I did.
No, they're like 10 days in.
Yeah. Not to make fun, but it is funny when in hindsight.
Yeah.
The only thing I was going to say, I was watching the film and man, like this going into this really bummed me out.
Yeah, for a couple of reasons. Tell me why it bumped you out.
First of all, she's out of focus. Second of all, it looks so much worse. Like, then it looks like a totally different camera or something.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that's just a bit of a. Not
Wide
sure what he
shot.
could have done, but I think I would have tried to show something like, not this, just anything but this shot.
Yeah, and this I think just comes down to like, yeah, thanks for providing the lenses there, guys, because yeah, Ben shooting with Blackmagic 4K, 10 millimeter, 24, 35, and 85. So it seems like you guys were probably using the 85 on the dad giving the speech there, and then this is the 35. You know, I wish.
What camera body though? Is the dad on the
sure.
Blackmagic, and this is the A7S3?
I'm not sure. I think the A7. This looks like black. This shot looks like Blackmagic to me, but because it's a little bit more flat. But I don't know. I don't think we will know.
Either way, one of them is looking. Yeah, this is the A7 III. I'm wondering
This is
about
A7
like the fact that you don't have the spill from the fluorescent light kind of sucks because it's like you can't even tell that they're in the same space.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You know, the thing for me, and I'll always talk about it, is like, you know, the 180-degree rule, like the other one, the one essentially you have dad looking right to left, and then you have this couple here looking right to left. So they're essentially both looking the same direction. So it's not like you have your camera angles kind of talking to each other. You know, putting your cameras on the same side. So in this case, it would be your bride and groom. The camera should be on the other side, looking at them, and I think it should be a little bit closer because the random bridesmaids on the left side, the random, you know, best man sitting there, and they're not random, but I just care about the bride and groom's faces. I wish it was
they're
tighter.
looking the wrong
Obviously
direction.
yeah, they're looking in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
So,
But
something to
I'm
think
wondering if
about.
you could
I
have
mean, that's
like
how to take your shooting to the next level and allow your cameras to essentially talk to each other. Something to think about there.
I always, you know, I've never really done it, but in this case, I would have maybe tried to include the person giving the speech in the foreground.
Yeah.
So then you could have like that red on his back and then see the bride and groom over his shoulder. I mean, this is me imagining a scenario that maybe isn't possible, but I just wanted to, I want to feel that fluorescent light in every shot because it's such a big part of this shot.
Yeah.
Maybe not possible.
Yeah, it is true.
Anyway.
So graceful.
And maybe it's just including it less too.
This is
Something to
cool.
Think about.
Really cool. I'm into that.
I think it was that very next day.
Cool logo.
I think,
And actually,
we
stop
just
it there.
talked about it the day
Because
before.
Bobby and I last week, we talked about use of fonts. And I like this font, man.
Me too,
I
it's
can tell
cool.
that you have a
Great logo.
a decent, great logo, a decent sense of like design, which I think is important for us as creatives to understand design a little bit. Like I like your fonts, I like your use of it. You just kind of dropped it in there. I can tell you know what you're thinking about and doing.
What are your thoughts about this cool looking black and white moment?
I mean, I like it. I like that it's out of focus. I like your exposure. I like that
Pretty.
it's a little bit. I would call this like an avant-garde shot.
Yeah, it's very film noir.
Yeah,
It's very cool. Really cool. I
I
mean,
dig it.
it's obvious to me you got a sense of style, by the way, which
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yep.
I think it was that very next day.
Yeah, I think, we just talked about it the day before about, you know, if they will let us do this, we're going to do it.
Don't like that.
It's the day that we planned
Don't
out
like that.
the
I
past
would cut
2
that
years, and so
shot
I
out.
didn't really want to let
And
that
then this
go.
is like really heinous looking.
That mixed lighting, man.
So
outside,
tough.
It's tough.
That blue
So
wall
tough.
is so terrible.
Yeah.
Like it's just, and this isn't all stuff that's your fault. It's just like, yeah, it is what it is.
And also the lens choice on the bride talking there.
Way
You're
too
shooting. I mean, again, going back to, you know, this is a second shooter, probably, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's, I don't know. Actually, but that looks like a wide lens, and you're really close to her. I would prefer kind of a more compressed shot, blow out the background, turn off the lights, put it near the window. Like, there's a lot to that shot that
Well, in the
I would
audio
like to
set, you
change.
can hear the proximity effect on the audio so dramatically. People are talking in the background. Anyway, we're interrupting, so
This is from Colton.
I don't mind this audio though. I like including like the ambient.
Later that day, I remember Lauren calling me, being like, "I'm so sorry."
Good
but,
shot. Good
Yeah, really
setting
nice.
shot.
Owner of the Isle Casino and the Waterfront Convention Center is shutting everything
boom
down
in the
to
movement,
April
yeah.
18th. And so that was the day that things really got
Blue teeth.
crazy. Aww. Nice yellow earrings. Are they diamonds? They match my ring, my wedding band. And his best man and one of my bridesmaids was coming from Washington, and they were ready to drive here if they had to, just to be here for that day. I'm really happy that we were able to make it work, and love conquers all, even in this scary time and pandemic, but I think everyone needs a little sunshine and happiness in their lives, and I'm hopefully gonna show that to everyone today on live streaming of our wedding, so should be
All
good.
right. Stop it here, Jay. So you're making a very intentional choice to tell the story through the perspective of the bride, right? Telling essentially
How she decided to have her super spreader event. We're gonna do it anyway.
No. But it's you're breaking what are they called? You're breaking the
Fourth wall.
Fourth wall, the fifth wall, whatever the hell it is.
It's the fourth wall, you idiot.
I know, some filmmaker I am. But you're breaking that, and it's kind of it's not allowing us to just view it and us be viewers. It's changing the bride as a character in your film, right? To like, and I don't know if I like the voice necessarily. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't mind it, you know. I just hate how it looks so much. Like I can't stop like I can't stop looking like when you look at something like, and this isn't, I don't want to be critical of this girl because I don't know her, you know, and that's fine. But like all I can look at is the way she forms her words with her mouth because it's so close and it's making me look at her face in like every little detail, and like her teeth, the white balance on her teeth is wrong. And I'm looking at that blue cast over there in the bottom right corner, and just it's just not. It's too.
It's allowing you, the viewer, to be pretty nitpicky.
Yeah, I'm feeling like I'm just invading her space. I'm feeling like I'm invading.
Yes.
I'm just not. It makes me uncomfortable. And then like the fact that she's like the wrong lead, like who cares about that chick behind her? Most of the frame is that lady doing her hair.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I would have wanted to back it up. I think maybe the voice change, I'd be a little okay with it, Jared, if I felt better about the shot.
Yeah, I would say.
But I understand your criticism. I can understand. I
Everhart-
understand why he did it too. So it's interesting. It's a tough choice, because he might have said like, asked her a reasonable question and not expected her to answer that way, and maybe she just went off. Who knows?
Everhart, I would say there's some filmmakers, Kava Productions, I think it was, or Kava Films. They're in like Pacific Northwest or San Francisco area. Their films, I'll look it up and I'll post a link. They do an interesting thing where they are interacting with the bride, asking questions, but like, you know, how are you feeling? Tell us a little bit about, you know, some of the thoughts behind your story or whatever, in a way that I think allows you to really feel like you're getting to know the bride. Like me as a random person on the internet watching their film, that allows me to get to know them.
Is it Kana?
With Kana
family?
Kana family, yeah. I'll post a link. And they've always done a really cool thing with their films in that regard. I do think she kind of drags on a little bit. and I wish that she
Had white
was a
teeth.
little bit more sustained. What?
I wish her teeth weren't blue.
Yeah, and then the lens choice and the light choice is also pretty tough.
Yeah, you just can't get. But I agree from a storytelling standpoint. I could see his challenge too. So
yeah,
I'm empathetic to it, but I'm not empathetic to the bad shot. So
Nice streaming of our wedding, so should be good.
Oh,
sorry.
That was you? That wasn't in the film?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay, good.
No, that was me.
Good. I do like that sense of peace we're getting here. I'm okay with like it slowing down this way. Skin tones are a little neon-y or whatever. Like the saturation's a little crazy on them.
Yep. Lighting in there seems tough.
How you doing, Colton?
Come on, chick. Ugh. I hate when people do that during first looks. Ruin the. And this is my preference. I shouldn't say that, but like I was at a first look the other day, and they're doing the first look, and the wedding party's in the background. And like when I do a first look, Jared, I will not let the wedding party come. But like they're in the background, and they're like just making it all casual, and they're like, woo! And like, I hate when people like, just casually talking, and the whole time, what's up, bro? I'm gonna go tap your shoulder. It's the first look. Can't. Again, that's my personal preference.
Yep.
Thank you.
These shots look good. Your natural light looks really good. Yeah, this is a really tough time of day to shoot.
Oh, this is interesting because it's like this empty place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Whoops.
So, okay. So there, what happened? I mean, it might just be the cameras, but that white balance looks white. Those lights look white, and then you go to the other camera angle, and it's orange, or yellowy, green.
Is it
whatever.
on the stage only?
Blown out highlights a little bit.
Right here? This
maybe
shot?
I'm just looking at it. Looks pretty yellowy to me, right? Maybe
it's a little yellowy. I would say it looks to me better than this shot.
Hang on, my phone just switched over at 11 o'clock to white balance switch. So
this is just.
That's.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Wah, wah, wah. No, this one to me, this is a weird shot, and like I'm trying to understand the thinking behind it. Like, on some level, I kind of like the idea of the shot, but then like, it seems like if you have that much space to move, though, you would want to see her face a little better.
Yeah. In good times and in bad.
Yeah, you didn't even see her face walking down the aisle. I wonder why he made that choice. It's clearly like a tripod shot, really wide with a really, really open composition, and then like nobody shooting down the aisle.
Yeah.
If there's like 9 people there, you better darn well know I'm gonna nail that shot.
Said the wide still is a live stream. So he was live streaming it during that
Interesting.
section. Yep.
Okay. See, I knew there's some weird stuff about it. And so thank you for the context, because I know, and this is the thing, this is the game, right? With the lives with wedding filmmaking, you have to make a creative thing, you have to make a functional thing. There's a lot of compromises. I think you could have maybe, it's not the decision I would have made personally, Jared, with that wide shot, but I get it. So that's challenging.
In sickness and in health.
To love you.
That's pretty.
Honor you.
To love you, to honor you.
All the days of my life.
All the days of my life.
In the name of the Father,
And of the Son.
and of the Son,
And of the Holy Spirit.
and of the Holy Spirit.
Let them pray to you in the Holy Assembly.
Yeah, so let's do this. Look at these skin tones here, which look pretty natural, and then there.
Yep.
So when you're dealing with bad lighting, one of the things you're going to be tempted to do is oversaturate it. And you want to be careful of that. The other thing is you just really want to like, you don't need to make it look like it's outside, right, Jared? Like you don't need to make it not look like the lighting is the way the lighting is. I see that a lot with people when they're in bad lighting. They like color correct it so much because they're trying to make it look like basically outdoor light.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think this could have used a little less tweaking.
Yeah.
Because I'm just noticing the skin tone shift from here very to there. She does not have very magenta skin.
No. No.
Anyway.
Holy assembly, and bear witness to you in the world.
Pretty.
And after a happy old age, together with the circle
Yep,
of
really
friends
pretty.
that surrounds them, may they come to
Love
the kingdom
these.
of heaven.
Yeah, it's
Love
really
these.
good.
We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah, real
We now
nice.
have the pleasure to announce to you for the very first time, Mr. and Mrs. Colton and Sydney Anderson.
What? I thought she said, did she say I have to go tinkle?
Is that what she said? It's hard for me to hear. My one AirPod.
I might have totally missed that. I hope she said it. It's funny if she did. Let's hear that again. Oh, no. I don't know what she said.
She said. I think she just said thank you.
Yeah. I have to go tickle would be funny, though.
I have to tinko now. Yeah.
So that's interesting. Like, I think let's just be totally empathetic about what it was to shoot COVID weddings, right?
Yeah.
If you didn't get to do that, you're, I would say it was definitely not something. Oh, sorry, I moved on to the. Is this the more of the film? Does it keep going?
Yeah. I thought that was the end. End. Like,
Me
they
too.
weren't doing anything after that. Interesting. Okay, so April, I would be curious to see, Everhart, why you included the date there. Because it's kind of like a, how long into this film are we? We're probably 2 minutes in, 3 minutes in, and then you're deciding to use kind of like a title
And a
in
hand
the
screen,
middle.
and it's kind of the handheld thing. It looks so different.
I don't mind this footage. I'm just talking about the
Dear
context
Heavenly
of
Father,
like.
thank you for bringing
the
No, I
date
like the
there.
footage.
today to celebrate Colton and Sydney.
Yeah, this footage is cool.
It's been a long time coming, but we're all really, really thankful to be here.
Yeah, I don't really love that break. Feel weird
Yeah.
to me, but I kind of understand it too, because he's like saying like later on they did this other thing. I think is kind of what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Interesting. I mean, this stuff looks awesome. So a lot of it looks really, really cool. So
And these thy gifts, which we are about to receive from thy bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen.
we're just so savage on not including stuff though, Jared.
We both
Like-
joked that we were forced to.
We don't include anything. We're like, I don't like that prayer. Like, we would never think like, oh, the couple might love that prayer. We'd be like, I don't like that prayer. I don't want to include
I
it.
will say I've never once been asked to add a prayer into our recap films. So
Me
we just
either.
are like,
Yeah.
see you later.
Like we work so hard
Not
to
that
cut.
we're against the concept of it, but just like on a wedding film, I mean, it's just generic stuff that probably doesn't add any personality to the film. So it's like, yeah, anything that doesn't add to the film gets chopped.
Yep.
The being friends.
This is a cool space they're in
the
too.
identical class
Really
schedules,
cool space.
But I really do believe that our lives crossed paths in the way that they did because I neaded that brilliant,
So
blinding light that she brought to my
stop
life.
there. There's a random hipster hatted hairstylist.
Yeah.
That just random like one shot, and I see this a lot actually, like where it's just like a random shot of like the getting ready, where it's like, okay, I feel like personally, and maybe because I like my films to feel a little bit more chronological, maybe have a little bit of overlap, but to just throw in the random shot of the
Well, I think
the
it's a
hipster
different day
hairstylist-
though. I mean, the whole thing is confusing to me, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
I think
but
that
I think
what they
that's a
did is
fair
they got
criticism.
married on one day, and then
Yeah.
they came back and had this party another day. That's what was happening. It wasn't as clear as I think maybe it could have been, but I think that was happening. And I mean,
Really, I think it's still one day, but I don't know.
well, the problem is he started with this party, with that speech,
Yeah, you started with the party,
and then he
on
went
the wedding
to
day.
some getting ready. No, that was like this party. But then they went back in time to. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, Everhart. You started with a clip from
I think
today's.
it's all the same day, Jason.
Weird, maybe. Yeah, if that's the case, I don't know. That's why I assumed he put the date in to show you, like,
Word. Okay.
yes, that's what it was. It was a different day.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway, it is so it kind of is chronological, but it threw me off initially because he had the toast from I think this day to start the
Okay.
whole film off, and then he went back in time to the COVID wedding. Now he's at a slightly less COVID, but more masky party.
Okay.
This was the mask era COVID. Original was masks are bad COVID. That's where the transition was.
Okay.
Sydney is an extraordinarily special, once-in-a-lifetime human being, and I wouldn't let just anyone spend the rest of her life with her. But luckily for Colton, he's not just any man.
I have that tie.
Cool shot of
He
the tie.
is the warmest, most
Love that tie.
compassionate, most thoughtful,
Cool
and
shot.
truly
Yeah, cool
good
tie in
man
general.
that I know. There are no words that could ever be enough.
A little focus pumpy.
Being the best partner you could possibly
Yeah.
be for Sydney.
That's on the Black Magic. I
Whoa,
think it is.
whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. Cut all that.
That's a great shot. That's a cool
That
looking
shot.
too. Also cool.
Green shots are a little tight for me.
I don't mind them. I kind of like tight ring shots, but also I don't often shoot it. Whoa, this is awesome.
Where did we come from? Where are we going?
I want to go there. This needs a little love with the color.
Everhart.
It's overexposed, is it? It's like it's on the fringes. Because I like the nice little hair light or something.
I don't think it's overexposed. I just think it's pretty flat. It looks like there's almost like a there's not, but it looks like there's a soft filter on the front, like a Pro Misty type of deal.
It might just need a little
And
more.
you know what it is,
I think
Jay?
it needs more contrast.
It's look at the back of his jacket. Something is reflecting onto them.
The orange that's on the
orange.
Yeah,
It's an orange cast.
that's
Yeah.
what it is, and it's making his
It might be
skin.
that
Look,
big ass mountain in the background that's casting onto his jacket there.
it might be.
That's creating some weird tones too. I don't think it's that bad though.
It's fine.
I think it's yeah.
I'm just a jerk.
Yeah, well, everyone knows that.
No, see, there it is again. It's not just me. Like that looks weird.
Yeah, that's flat.
Like right
Yeah.
here, they look like
Yeah.
bronze or something. Like they look like their hair is almost the same tone as their skin, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's on the Black Magic.
I would like to see that lower, and this I'd like to see centered. Even
Yep.
though that's cool, though. I kind of feel like that human. That I like that.
I'd be curious to see why, and people just are going to use what they have, but the combination of A7S3 plus Black Magic together, I mean, I think that's a hard trick to pull.
I think it. I mean, I've worked with both the files. I think you can make them match, but like you need to have a much stronger artistic vision in terms of like what you're trying to make it all look like, and you need to make them both align to that vision instead of like kind of letting one camera tell the other camera how to look.
Yeah.
That's kind of a weird way to say it, but I think you need a stronger look identity.
Yeah.
So.
And make grand statements.
Everhart,
about
where
love and
is this
marriage. The fact is,
place?
you guys are.
Yeah, where is it? We want to go.
Yeah. Cool looking.
Danny's Lux Club. You can probably look that up, Jared.
For two incredible, loving, caring people,
Lux Club.
you've only brought out new depths of kindness.
That did not need to be just handheld. Like no ibis. Like I feel like I'm swaying with them in a bad way. Like you were kind of like having like sympathetic movement with the couple while they danced. Like you ever watch a commercial and you're like, my wife will always be like, you're smiling like the TV to embarrass me. Like if someone, and like, I feel like it's this like sympathetic swaying with the dance.
Yeah.
You've only brought out new depths of kindness, selflessness, strength.
So cool though. I like that.
I think that's cool.
We all met at St.
Denny's Lux Club.
I love that place.
We're
Iowa.
married at St. Ambrose, and I am forever thankful and indebted.
I don't even mind the handheld. This is kind of nice handheld.
It gave me dance marathon and a desire to do more with my life. It gave me a lifelong love of learning. But more than anything, it gave me a family. People who are as much a part of me as my own heart that beats. It gave me two of my best friends. So thank you to the two of you, and thank you to the incredible families that raised and shaped them to be the extraordinary people they are. For a rather dark and gloomy person, this feels like the brightest, warmest, and most loving room in the whole world, and I'm just happy to be standing in it.
Oh, weird. Okay, there she was. So look at how this looks compared to that shot. I'm trying to understand what I'm seeing here, because like I'm looking here, right?
That's
it's the
Sony.
same.
That's
it's the same light.
Blackmagic. Yeah. It's the camera setting on the Blackmagic. It's just a super flat profile.
Well, and also it's
much different.
Like there's a lot of green in it. There's like a green to the tones, and then this one's really leaning into that red. I think that first camera looks great, and this camera looks very, very mediocre. And like the focus here again, we're 180 degree, right? You gotta see their faces.
Yep.
Like what? Like I wouldn't even include this shot in my edit. If this happened, if I like set it up because I thought they're gonna give a toast one place and they ended up not, I would not include it because it's confusing.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy to be standing in it. So let's cheers the bride and groom and all the love that brought us here today.
Like that looks awesome. That looks pretty good too. Is there music they're dancing to?
So we would later live in the same dorm junior year, which was academic, which I thought was a pat on my back until I found out Colton also lived there. So took a little bit of that away. We'll just fast forward to senior year.
I think if you go and watch the Kings of Leon Beautiful War music video, shot in like an old honky tonk electric rodeo kind of bar. That's how I want to see this. And like this shot right here, man, I have a shot in my head. I want to see a wide shot. I want to see Denny's Lux Club, and I want to see them dancing in front of it. This like weird angled shot, I don't love it, Jared.
Yeah. Composition. And I think this is what most of us struggle with on a wedding day, because it's
Kind of out of control.
Tough to get good composition when, you don't have that level of control. Like, I wish I saw Denny's Lux Club super straight, flat, and then kind of had them silhouetted dancing in front of it. And then you have your side shots that can be a little less strict on your composition, where you're just covering faces.
Yeah, and imagine how dope it'd be if you had a nice little dolly zoom on it, and they were just dancing, swaying in front of the sign. Oh,
yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah, that's kind of what I would want to see.
I'm gonna come back and shoot that for you. I'm gonna go back in time, grab your camera, but let's do this.
No.
Me and Cindy and Colton are so well for
This is like Jared's dream reception, by the way.
She has her owls.
He loves
pretty
the flowers.
hipster and cool.
And now they both have their extremely spoiled wiener dogs. But the one thing she showed me was
We have
how
one
to
of those in our office.
Yeah, my parents have always
We're pretty into like neons.
But it's a whole other thing to watch your sister fall in love and find the person she's meant to be with.
There's
Faster.
that weird skin tone thing happening.
No, it's the black magic. It's so flat and brown and flat. It's a weird skin tone. Faster though.
Cut,
Faster.
cut. Maybe you suspend a little bit. That's cool.
These guys are such dorks.
If asked today, Colton could fit you to a new bicycle, sell you a pair of shoes through Fleet Feet for your next Ironman, get you set up with a fresh pair of glasses for both casual and outdoor use, sell you insurance better than Jake from State Farm, probably in nicer khakis, and serve you up a pint or mixer of your choosing at the best damn bar this side of the Mississippi.
Oh yeah, I like that idea right there. Like I want to see more of that. Like that was cool.
Yeah, work your handheld a little bit. This is gonna be cool.
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of getting it here. I feel this feels good to me.
Better pace. I like the song.
Yeah, it's a really awesome song. It's a song I would listen to. Love this. I love what he's thinking here. Like, and I want to see more of this. Like, look, you can get so much inspiration by just looking at reflections, and when you have interesting light like this, oh, he didn't even try to do that. Okay, they were rolling a dice. I would have loved to seen a shot of their dancing silhouettes exactly like that, with that on that dance floor. I think you could have that would have been so cool, especially if they're moving and stuff.
Yep. I love that foot movement. He's getting close.
He's getting in too, which I like.
Yeah. I like the lens strokes here. Again, the way we were talking about before. Get those tight shots, man. It adds so much more energy on the dance floor. Get close, and using a wide angle lens is kind of cool too. I like that.
Cool ending too. I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great. I'm gonna break this up so we don't get flagged.
Yeah.
I'm super into. First of all, like, you know how to shoot. I think you might want to if all that dance floor stuff was shot on the A7S III, and all the stuff I loved was shot on A7S III, you should just get another one of those.
Yeah.
I feel like the footage that I loved, I don't know which camera it was on. And then, I felt like you were just so comfortable with that camera. Like, the way you shot, it was unleashing you. Like, the creativity. And so, there's a lot of great stuff on there.
Yep.
So, Jared, cinematography-wise, we kind of went through some stuff. A lot of, really good stuff. A couple weird things. Some weird color. But overall, some really, really, actually, I think those backlit neon things were some of the coolest looking that I've seen on the show in terms of film critiques. So I love that. What's your thoughts overall in terms of color? I mean, cinematography.
Cinematography. I guess talk about lens choice. I thought it was nice during the dance. You did good there. I felt like some of your shots for like a handheld shot were a little bit like wide. I wish they weren't as wide, and maybe working on your handheld shots is something that you can work on a little bit. Just getting that motion. Like there was one time where it was like this shot where you're looking at this cool ceiling and the reflections, and then you're almost like peering down to the dance that's happening. I like that, more of that,
More of
and
that.
being a little
Like,
bit
every
more
time you
intentional.
got into it, I felt
Yep.
it felt so good. And I would say like don't fight that side of your shooting.
Yep, yep. And then yeah, what we had mentioned, just matching those cameras, like that is a challenge. I think that's a challenge for me. Maybe not for people who are specialized in color correction that way, but yeah, I would
Not
say
easy. Not
matching
easy
those
to do.
cameras.
Yep.
Not easy to do. And especially it kind of reminds me of like some of the challenges that maybe we had when we first got those Black Magics.
Yeah, they take a little
It's just like leaning
getting
towards
used
it
to.
being too flat,
Yep. They want to be pushed real hard with saturation and contrast, so don't be afraid to do it.
Yeah.
The other thing I was gonna say, just story wise, I understand it. It was a little weird starting with the speech and then kind of going back in time and not really telling us you're going back in time and then adding the time thing. It was like I don't feel like it was like date 1, date 2. It was just kind of like you're supposed to know it was date 1 and then it just jumps to date 2. So story wise, I think there was a lot of stuff that I felt was like, yeah, do we really need to include that talking? But you know, I'm sure the couple loved it.
Yeah, I'm sure they did too. Yep.
Good at it, especially towards the end. I think he really found his voice. I mean, this is good stuff, man. Everhart, you do good work. I would think like be yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Like the parts that made you feel good, that you felt good about, do more of that. And don't be afraid to be too crazy or like too whatever. Like I think like there's something in there, you as a filmmaker, where you're kind of like holding back a little bit. And when I could see like you were like, I'm gonna try this, like it felt like good.
Yeah, I agree.
So guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us on our live stream tonight. We had a lot of whoa, no, we're not gone. We're back. We're still here. We're still here. I hate this fade to black button. My finger always hits it. We are hanging out next week, so come on, check it out. If you want to submit a film, you can do that, of course. Go ahead and do that. We're got a couple picked already for next week, but we still have room for a couple more. Again, if you're watching this, you had a good time, go ahead and just hit that like button. It helps our channel out a lot. Go ahead and just hit the like button. Let people know that you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. We got a couple more videos dropping, and literally, I'm not exaggerating this. I think in the next 8 days, we have one of the biggest things we're ever dropping on Wedding Film School. Huge thing we're going to be doing, and we cannot wait to let you guys see it. So stay tuned because we're going to announce it first on next week's live stream. And so be ready to check it out, and then we're going to be dropping a bunch of stuff to go with this awesome announcement. Hopefully you guys had a great night. Thanks for checking out the Wedding Film School live show, and thanks for checking out the channel. We love you guys. You guys make this one of the best opportunities for people to learn in the wedding filmmaking world.